back with the 25-minute workout on the mat. You will only need your mat unless you would like a little extra cushion for your knees when we're on our hands and knees. Perhaps a cushion if your hips are tight to sit up a little higher. We'll be doing a core building class, working up to push-ups and plank. And that's it. So get yourself dressed into something comfortable and I'll meet you back on the mat.
Here we are back on our mat. We're going to be beginning with our standing stretch. Inhaling, sweeping our arms to the ceiling, coming into our standing back bend, pushing those hips forward and releasing the upper back towards the back. Inhale to the ceiling and exhaling off to our left side. Big inhale. Exhale, let gravity pull you down further. Inhale to the ceiling, exhale to the right. Big inhale and exhale, opening up that side body. Inhale to the ceiling, coming into thoracic circles. To the left, the front, the right, the back. Moving the upper body only, trying to release the fascia within the body. One more circle here. And we'll go in the opposite direction. To the right, the front, the left, and the back. If this is too much for your shoulders, just bend your elbows, place your hands behind your head to support your head and shoulders. And we're going to be coming up to the ceiling after this one. Nice stretch, inhale, and then off to the left side, inhaling and exhaling, trying to open. Inhale, exhale, melt further. Inhale, up to the ceiling and to the right side. Inhale and exhale, trying to open up that side body. Inhale and exhale, open up a little further. Inhale to the ceiling, exhale, standing back bend, seeing perhaps you can open up a little further. Sweeping those arms down, rolling your shoulders back, coming into our standing split lunge. Right foot forward, left foot back with the heel lifted of that back foot. Hip distance with the feet, bending the knees. Now making sure your knee is aligned with your toes. You're squeezing from your glutes to lift the legs straight. Bend and push. Now pushing with the heel of that front foot, making sure that your toes are slightly lifted. For more challenge, you can sweep the arms up to the ceiling, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Making sure that your pelvis is going directly down between your two legs as you're bending your knees. We're going to be going here and holding it for a few little pulses. Now, really make sure you're pushing in the heel of that front foot. Your feet are parallel, pointing forward towards the front of the mat. Hold it. Inhale, exhale. Inhale on your next exhale. Push the back foot forward. Right foot goes back with the heel lifted. You can start with your hands on your hips. You're pushing into the heel, bending and stretching. Heel of that front foot, lifting the toes of the front foot. If you need a little help with stability, place your hand on a chair. If you would like a little more challenge, sweep your arms up to the ceiling, keeping your shoulders away from your ears. Really bending deep into those knees for more challenge. You can also do a smaller bend if needed. We're going to be going for little pulses here. Pushing into the heel of that front foot. Belly is pulling in. Keep breathing. And we're going to be holding it here. Big inhale. Exhale. Another big inhale. Sweep the arms down. On the exhale, push the back foot forward. Coming down back into our standing chair pose, feet together. Now from your glutes, you want to have your hips sitting backwards. From your hip flexors, pushing your hips back, lifting your toes, knees together, keeping your hands on your hips to begin, making sure that your weight is in your heels. For more challenge, sweep the arms up. Now you can look down at your toes here. Sit down further and lift and lower. Lower and lift. Really make sure your toes are lifted. You're in your heels. Look down, making sure you can see your toes. Little pulses. Trying to get those legs burning. Belly is pulling in, squeezing those knees together. Now holding it here. Trying to sit lower if you can. For a challenge, we're going to be coming down to the floor. If you like, you can lift your heels, trying to slowly lower. If that doesn't work, just come down in whatever manner you like. Coming down into a kneeling, wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. We're going into our shoulder protraction, retraction. We're going to push away with our hands, the shoulder blades away from the center and back to neutral. Push away and back to neutral. Push and back to neutral. Now squeeze together and to neutral. Squeezing the shoulder blades to and then to neutral. And last one. Now full movement. Push away and squeeze together. Push away and squeeze together. 2 more. You're really feeling your shoulder blades slide around your rib cage. Now do 2 circles, and then we'll change directions for the 2 more circles. Walking your hips a little further back, going into hip circles. Trying to warm up the hips, the shoulders, the wrists. And 1 more. And we'll change directions with those circles. Now try to observe where you feel your abdominal wall perhaps a little more. Maybe when your hips come to the side, you may feel your obliques a little more. Walking your knees under your hips. And we're going to come into our swimming. Wrist under the shoulder. Lift the back leg. Tuck that belly in. Really pull it in. Now keep your tailbone long. And from your glute, squeeze the glute to lift that back leg. Lift the front arm and stretch in 2 directions while pulling the belly in. Feel as though someone is pulling you from your fingertips all the way to your toe tips. Place the arm, place the leg, lift the opposite. Right leg with left arm. Now inhale and exhale. Nice deep breaths. Inhale. Exhale, pull that belly in, stretch, stretch, stretch into opposite directions, placing the hand and foot down. Left leg or opposite leg, back leg with front arm, going for pulses, up, 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 pushing it up, squeezing from that glute. This should not hurt your back. If it does, put that knee down and do only the arm. Pulling that belly in, stretch, 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 and release. Right leg, left arm, changing up, pushing up. Really nice long stretches here. Really trying to pull that belly in away from the floor. And we're going to be holding it here in just a second. Hold, stretch, 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 and release it down. Stabilizing your shoulder blades once again, lifting that right arm. We're going to be doing 5 pulses. I'm just showing you what we'll do with the arm only before lifting the leg. Now lift the leg. Now do 5 pulses with the arm and leg together. Now hold the leg stable. Make circles only with the arm. And we're going to be changing directions. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now arm up overhead. Bend the elbow and the knee at the same time. Stretch and bend. Stretch and bend. Feel as though you have an elastic in your hand and you're pulling that elastic while you're bending that elbow down to the hip. You can point and flex that back foot, or you can just leave it pointed. Not so important. Placing your arm and your leg down, switching sides. Right leg, left arm, or opposite side, stretching, bringing the arm to the side. 5 pulses up with the arm and leg together. And now, just in a second here, hold. And arm only does circles for 5. And we're going to change. We're going to go for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now arm and leg up over the head, bend the knee and the elbow at the same time. Pretend you have an elastic in that hand and you're pulling that elastic as you're bending that elbow towards the hip. And stretch and bend. Stretch and bend. Pull that belly in and hold and release. Opening up those knees, big toes together, melting your hips down into a child's pose with your hands stretching to the top of the mat, coming back up into kneeling. And we're just going to do here a quick little push-up prep. Hands wide on the carpet, knees further away, pushing with your shoulder blades away from each other. Now 3 slowly down and 1 up. Inhale, 3, and exhale up. Inhale, 1, 2, 3. Exhale, push up. Inhale, 2, 3. Exhale, push up. You can do a smaller movement here if you need. It's better to have a smaller movement, staying strong in your muscles than overriding these muscles that we're trying to build strong. If you can, maybe do a larger one. You can also walk your knees closer if you want to make this a little easier. Back into a child's pose, melting your hips down towards your feet, walking off to the right corner of the mat, stretching towards the right corner, and walking the hands to the left corner of the mat, stretching up while melting the opposite hip down. And exhale all the way up to center and to kneeling. Just stretching out our wrists, palms towards you, just little circles, putting a little pressure on the wrists, walking your fingertips with your palms down and rocking back and forth. Now walk your fingers out to the side and around towards you. And we're going to come back, sit down, make 2 little circles with your wrists in one direction, and then change directions. Shake out your hands. Come back down to your hands and knees. Going into a plank prep. Walking your knees just a little further away. Toes are tucked, knees together, and shoulders are strong. Inhale, exhale. Pull those knees off the mat with your belly button. Inhale and exhale. And again, inhale and exhale up. Big inhale. Big exhale, and inhale to release down. Inhale, shoulders are strong, belly button pushes up to lift those knees, and release down. Inhale, exhale. Now squeeze those knees, lift the back leg. Place the back leg down, stabilize, and lift the front leg. Down, and lift the back. And then place it down. Belly is really working hard, and shoulders, and place it down. Release into a child's pose, opening up the knees, and you slowly here melting down towards your hips, towards your feet with your hips, and coming back up again into our plank. We'll be pushing up into a full plank, really strong through the shoulder girdle, shoulders away from your ears. Exhale, pull up. Now pretend you're pushing those heels against a wall when you lift your legs straight. Inhale, exhale, pull up with the belly. Knees come up with the belly. Inhale and exhale up. Push, push, push. Pushing those heels as if they're pushing against the wall, and inhale down. Inhale and exhale up. Push, push, push those heels as if you're pushing against a wall. Try to stay strong in the shoulders, and back into a child's pose, coming down, opening the knees and melting your hips towards your feet. Walking your hands once again to the right corner of your mat and off to the left corner, back to center, back to kneeling. Another plank. Prep to full plank, stabilizing your arms, your shoulders, and push up. Inhale and exhale, pulling those knees off the mat with your belly. Inhale down, exhale, push up. Inhale, release, exhale, push. Pretend you're really pushing against a wall with those heels when you push up. Push, push, push. You're strong. Keep strong within your shoulder blades. Shoulders are away from your ears, belly is pulling in, and release it down. Inhale and exhale, melting, coming onto our belly now, coming into our breaststroke. We are going to be lifting our upper body here, elbows bent. Inhale and exhale, lift your upper body, push your feet and your pelvis into the mat. Try to pull the belly button away. Inhale and exhale, release. Big inhale, exhale to lift. Big inhale at the top. And exhale to release. Inhale Inhale, push those toes in, push your pelvis in. Exhale, lift. Big inhale at the top, and exhale, release. Again, inhale and exhale. Now the elbows are squeezing down towards the hips as you're lifting. You should not have any lower back pain. Inhale, exhale, lengthen your arms, palms turn down. Now sweep them up over your head as if you're diving in the water, round to the side and to the hips. You're swimming here. You're diving, you're pushing through the water, and you're lifting. Really make sure that those shoulders are sliding down. If this hurts your back, either go into a child's pose or do a small movement, very small. And holding it here, hold, push those hip bones into the mat and little pulses with your triceps, pushing your arms strong up towards the ceiling, pushing those toes into the mat, pulling that belly away from the mat. And we're going to be holding it. Just keep going. Pulse, pulse, pulse. We're going to hold it here. Up, up, up. And release. Forehead is resting on your hands. Feeling your heart beating. Breathing. Pushing up. We're going to be turning onto our back. Going into our hip rolls. Knees bent. Nice long neck. Feeling comfortable. And long arms towards your side. Now we're going to inhale. On your exhale, you're going to push your lower back into the mat, roll up to your thoracic spine and all the way down to your tailbone. If your back is stiff, you can always lift your heels and roll up and then roll back down, one vertebra at a time. Inhale and exhale up. Big inhale at the top, exhale down. Inhale and exhale, roll up. And here, lifting your head and shoulders, rolling from the top of the spine all the way down to the hips. And now roll the hips up again. And we're going to lift our head and shoulders and roll from the top all the way down to the hips. Roll the hips up, pushing up. Now lift the head and shoulders and roll down one vertebra at a time and release the head and shoulders. One more time, lifting the hips, lifting the head and shoulder, lowering the hips, lowering the head and shoulders. We're going to go into our shoulder bridge. Nice long back. Knees together, keeping that pelvis stable, pushing up. And nice long back. Now we're going to stabilize into our back leg and lift the front leg off. Now switch. Stabilize into the front leg. Make sure your hips don't shift. Lift the back leg off the mat. Place it down. Restabilize into the back leg, lifting the front leg off the mat. Really working your abs here, your glutes. And again, stabilize and lift your opposite leg. Inhale and exhale down. One more time here. Inhale and exhale. Lift. Inhale and exhale. Actually, we're going to do one more and lift. Now from your hip flexors, release all the way down. We're going to lift again from your glutes all the way up into our bridge pose. Your ribs and hips are staying tight. Lift your right leg. Now lengthen to the ceiling. Flex the foot and lower, point and lift. Flex and lower, point and lift. Flex and lower, point and lift, bend and place it down toe to heel. Opposite leg, stabilizing with our right leg, lifting our left leg up to the ceiling. Now flex that foot down, point it up, point and then flex down, point up, flex down, point up, bend and release down to the floor. Now rolling once again down from the top of the body all the way down to the tailbone, and we'll do one more roll up, imprinting and pushing up, one vertebra at a time. Big inhale and exhale, melting down. Turning on to our belly, going into our heel squeeze, opening your knees, heels together, forehead on the hands and pushing your hips down. Now squeezing those heels to make sure you're lifting from the glutes. Squeeze, push your hips into the mat and lift the knees. Inhale and exhale, push. And inhale, release, exhale, push and squeeze. Really push those hips down into the mat. Squeeze, 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 squeeze. Release those arms and rest. Pushing up, we're going to be coming down into a child's pose now. Opening up the knees and melting your hips. Here you have a bit of a shoulder stretch if you keep your hips higher. And if you melt your hips down towards your feet, more of a back stretch. Rocking gently back and forth. And we're going to be coming back on to our side now. Lying down on our side, you can rest your head on your hand. Your waist will be lifted, your hips stacked one on top of the other, and your knees stacked, lifting and lowering your knees, opening and closing. Now you want to feel as though you're squeezing a ball between your legs as you're closing the legs, and you want to feel as though you have an elastic around the outside of your leg while you're opening. Here, if you want a little more challenge, we can come up a little higher, making sure you have an external rotation and waist lifted as you open and close. Trying not to rotate your pelvis. Belly in, inhale, and exhale to open. Squeezing those feet together and really pulling against an elastic and squeezing a ball. Little pulses here. You can put that arm on the outside and push that knee against. Now hold, 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 pushing against the knee. Inhaling and exhaling, and the right foot on top of left, coming into our side bend, stabilizing that shoulder, lifting that waist, pushing with the top foot. Inhale and exhale, up, over, and down. Inhale and exhale, lifting, pushing with the top foot and the lower hip. And now if you want, you can lengthen both legs. Now push up with your feet to lift those hips and bend the knee, release the hip, change sides. Coming to our opposite side, lying down, resting your head on your hands, lifting that waist, stacking your hips and knees. Inhaling and exhaling to lift and squeeze. Yeah, you can make sure you can always place that hand on the leg to push against it to try to get that glute really woken up a little bit and squeeze down. Making sure that that waist is lifted. We're coming up a level and lifting and lowering, opening and closing. Really squeeze down and push up. And you can place that hand there to feel that resistance, pushing against the leg as you open and squeezing down. Little pulses, little teeny pulses, and you can place again, if you like, the hand on the outer leg and push against it. Feel that resistance. Inhale and exhale. The hand is pushing down as you're pushing up. Left foot on top of the front foot. Long arm. And inhale and exhale. Push up and release down. Pushing with that top foot and the lower hip to lift. Lifting that waist. Inhale and exhale. Nice side bend. Inhale and exhale. Now if you like, lengthen. Now push up with your feet to get a little more of a side bend. Now bend the knee, release the hip down, come back down. We're going to do a nice little hip stretch, crossing one knee over the other, really stacking those knees up. If you like, you can lift your hips on a cushion or double up your mat. Now nice long back. Inhale and exhale, straight back to try to get a nice stretch in that hip. Inhale and exhale, stretch. Inhale, release. exhale to stretch. Inhale back up. Now releasing gently and slowly the legs. We will be crossing the opposite leg, right over left, or opposite, do whatever you did. Nice long back. Exhale. Inhale to release. Exhale. Try to go a little deeper. Inhale, release. Exhale, try to go a little deeper. Now coming back up and releasing, recrossing the legs, coming into a sitting cross-legged position. Inhale all the way up to the ceiling and off to the right, around the front and off to the left. Around to the front, off to the right side, stretch around to the front and left, back now up to the ceiling. Big stretch, hands to prayer. Thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this.